Hey everybody, it's GauntletX, and welcome back to my final sealed event of Tarkir Dragonstorm, outside of potential upcoming competitive ones like Arena Opens and Qualifier Play-ins and all that stuff. We have played every clan except Jeskai now in sealed, so we're going to wrap up the sealed format with the Jeskai clan. So we get two packs of exclusively Jeskai cards, so exclusively blue, red, and white cards, four regular packs of Tarkir Dragonstorm. So we're going to be heavily incentivized to play some Jeskai flurry stuff, and hopefully we can open up some powerful cards to play with. So without further ado, let's bust open these packs, see what we get to play with today. Well, hello there, my friend. Ugin, Eye of the Storms, have yet to play with good old Eugene over here, but this card looks insanely powerful. It's a 7 mana Planeswalker, so quite a bit of mana, but the format is pretty slow in both Draft and Sealed, but especially in Sealed, so you can easily make it to 7 mana in the majority of games. And because it's completely colorless, it goes into our deck no matter what. We cast this for 7, immediately exile a permanent of our choice, gain 3 life and draw a card. And then every time we cast any colorless spell, we also get to exile another permanent. We're unlikely to have a bunch of colorless spells, but I think with an Ugin in the deck, we're going to really prioritize playing any of them that are decent, like, I don't know, like the Dragonstorm Globe, Mana Rock. Any of the monuments are fantastic, because I think they're already good pieces of fixing. The monuments in the format are 2 mana artifacts that search for a basic land of the clan's types. So in Jeskai, because we're blue, white, red here, the Jeskai Monument is a 2 mana play to pick up an island, mountain, or plains, and then you also get to sack it later to get a couple birds. So I really like all the monuments. If we have some of those, that'd be awesome with Ugin. But even by himself, 7 mana, exile any permanent of your choice, gain 3 life, and draw a card. That, as the absolute worst it can do, is really good. And if it sticks around from there, it just sits there gaining life and drawing cards every single turn. Yeah, Ugin is incredible. We're so happy to see that. And we're also so happy to see 1, 2, 3, 4 blue, white, and red rares here, including some really powerful cards. Voice of Victory, an incredible early aggressive play, attacking for 3 damage by itself with those mobilized tokens. Sage of the Skies being incredibly efficient if you flurry it out by casting it alongside another spell. So you play this ideally on like turn 5, you play your 2-drop creature and your Sage together, and then you've got 2/2/3s with Flying and Lifelink for that 3 mana investment, which is really good. And the Meringue River Regent is an incredible spell at the top of your curve. This format has a lot of tokens from all the monuments, from the Endure mechanic. There's Mammoth tokens out of Teamer. So this can often be like a 6 mana, 6/7 flyer that kills one of their big tokens and like bounces their best other permanents. This is a really flexible, really powerful top end spell, because also if you're stuck on mana, if you're mana screwed and you're just under a lot of pressure, then you can dig for those lands with Coil and Catch instead, shuffle this back in, and just draw it again later in the game. So really love that spell as well. All our rares are fantastic. There is an off-color rare here with Sinkhole Surveyor that's also really powerful. If we have incredibly good fixing, we might put it in, but because it's a card that you want to play early and get the attacks in with as quickly as possible, it's much weaker when you splash it in, and only have like 3 or 4 black sources in the deck, because then on average you're not playing it till turn 7 or 8 or something. So a little less excited about the Surveyor, but I think basically all of our other rares here are pretty phenomenal. Yeah, the Grappler as well, guaranteeing you a flurry if you have any cards that care about that. That's the mechanic that cares about casting 2 cards in a turn. You get to cast this on like turn 6. Okay, it doesn't guarantee you a flurry. I misread this. I thought this was the flashback one that lets you recast an instant or sorcery from your grave the turn you play it. It's the opposite. You double up the next spell you play. So turn 5, if we have the perfect mana, we can play this and then play the Voice of Victory and have 2 Voice of Victories on the board. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Seems pretty strong still. But I do like the big giant dragon and the Sage of the Sky is a little better. I think they're just a little more consistent, but they're certainly all powerful. So let's check out our colorless stuff here. Really hoping we have good colorless. All right, we have a couple Dragonstorm globes. Those aren't the greatest in the world, but I think they're worth running when we have the Ugin here, and they're fine fixing. The Boulderborn Dragon, the Embermouth Sentinel, though, incredibly filler to the point where I don't think I'm running them even with an Ugin here. Ugin's going to be super powerful already by himself, and these just aren't very good at all when we haven't drawn the Ugin. At least the Dragonstorm globes are still useful as fixing. Jeskai cards, we have 2 Mystic Monastery for fixing. Love to see that. We've got a Windscarred Crag, a Swiftwater Cliffs. Pretty excellent stuff there. If we're trying to splash in our black rare, we have 1 Dismal Backwater and 1 Bloodfell Caves. Not the greatest, but I do have 2 Dragonstorm Globes as well. Again, our black rare was like a 2-mana play, so it's not even the most splashable card ever. For another Jeskai card we open up here, weirdly only 2 multicolored Jeskai cards, 1 Flamehold Grappler and 1 Monastery Messenger. I don't think Monastery Messenger is actually that good. It's just a really hard to cast 3-mana 2/3 Flying Vigilance. Because putting a card from your grave back on top of your library doesn't really put you ahead at all in card advantage. It's just selecting the card. It's kind of like it's scryed a little bit when you played it. It's not very consistent or good of an ability. Kind of the same reason I don't like the Embermouth Sentinel very much. Sure, you know you can hit the right color mana as your draw next turn, but you're not up a card. You are just being selective of the next card you're going to draw, so it's really a 2-mana 2/1 without any extra card advantage style plays. Okay, we do have 2 Effortless Master, so we're going to want to run a lot of cheap spells here, 1 and 2 mana spells to make it so that we can flurry with this and get the 6/5 Vigilant Menace body out a decent amount of the time. I can't speak, my bad. We can play a Frontier Bivouac here. This is a blue-red duel still, even though it doesn't gain us a life when we play. It's still worth playing in a 3-color, maybe more deck. Yeah, so we'll run all those, and then when we look at our colors individually, because this is a seeded sealed pool with 2 packs of Jeskai cards, I mean, just glancing through, I'm already confident we're just playing Jeskai, but you can also just do the math. With 2 packs of only blue, red, and white cards, we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green cards, and only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 black cards, versus, you know, this big chunk of, I mean, red looks incredibly huge in terms of the quantity of cards. Blue as well, look at all those blue spells, so kind of just locked in on the Jeskai here. Weirdly enough, the white actually doesn't have that many cards, it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. White is probably the lightest of our 3 main colors between white, blue, and red, but I do think red looked to be the weakest here. We've got 1 Devoted Duelist for an early play, a couple Devotees for fixing. I think the best stuff we have going out of the red is going to be splashable removal with a Molten Exhale and double Narset's Rebuke. I've been very unimpressed with Twin Bolts so far, though, with the amount of beef and just late game style plays. But red has a lot of filler, like, again, 4 Fire Rim forms and the 1 Twin Bolt I was talking about. We do want to pick 2 colors as the main 2 colors and splash in the third so that we can consistently play our early game plays as much as possible. And I think the strongest early plays we have are going to be in white and blue. Blue to the quantity of spells here, and white to the quality of cheap cards. So I've got, 3 white 2-drops. Stormbrood for red removal spells, pretty great. Maybe I can make blue the splash. It looks like our best blue plays are all kind of later game. I don't know. We get started on turn 3 with Sibsig Appraiser and Wingblade Disciple as both being pretty excellent cards. Fresh Start is a fine removal spell for cheap. Unending Whisper is really nice at helping you hit Flurry. So I want to play Whisper, Fresh Start. Rebuff's a really nice Harmonized card as well. bounce something and then bounce something again later. Even if it didn't have Harmonized to where you can make it cheaper by tapping one of your creatures, it would already be a solid card in this set because there's so many like big tokens and stuff. Killing two of them off one spell is nice. Got that Regent at the top of the curve. So this is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue spells minimum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white spells minimum. Red, I would be putting in Molten Exhale for sure. Probably Double Rebuke. And then if I wanted red as a main color, I could play the Devotees early, and the Duelist early, and the Strike Master. Strike Master is a main deckable removal spell for dragons, because it's also just a mana rock early. It's a 3/1 aggressive threat. Yeah, Strike Master is nice and flexible. Maybe. I mean, Fresh Start we can play later. Rebuff we can play later. Whisper we can play later. Our blue doesn't really start till turn 3. If I run the Strike Master, the Devotees, Duelist here, maybe we go red, white, splash blue. Still going to be pretty deep on all the colors because we still need double blue for Regent. But this definitely seems fine. It's a really aggressive start too. This many 2-mana plays. And we want a lot of those so that we can make the Effortless Masters more flurryable. The Equilibrium Adept, I guess, also pretty fine. 4 mana 2/4, draw a card, you flurry with it, you get a double strike swing with it. What is this dragon? Counterspell mana value 2 or less, or whenever you cast a non-creature or dragon, it gets +2/+0 to entrance. It's a 4 mana 2/4 flyer. But sometimes it swings as a 4/4 flyer. Fine. I don't know I have the room for it. Yeah, I don't know if I have the room for it here. This Bodyguard probably also fine with the amount of 2-mana plays we have, but again, we have an issue. The amount of room we have in this deck. Got a couple Dragonstorm Globes that can make these dragons even bigger, which is nice. So, okay, we can go Jeskai and get pretty aggressive with it, with Boros at the core. Or we can go with the Azorius as the core and play a little bit more long game oriented. I still get a couple skimming strikes to help flurry with as 2-mana omens here. Just draw a card, shuffle the dragon back in, but then have these dragons for late game plays and have more card draw with double focus than mine. That helps dig towards the Ugin a lot more. I kind of want to just go slower curve, deeper towards the blue. Splash the red later. Yeah, I can still flurry that onto the slower blue-white at the core deck looks better to me. Got double rebuke, detainment, exhale, rebuff, fresh start. This is a solid amount of removal. Yeah, I like this version. This seems pretty nice. Riverwalk technique could be fine as well if I need more removal. That's definitely better than the mastery. Because if the game goes long enough for them to untap whatever you target with this, or if their card just has good abilities, it's not even a 1/1 removal spell. It's really bad. Even though they technically get the card back to recast it with the Riverwalk technique, it's still a 1/1 because they have to skip their next draw step to redraw it if they do put it on the top. So you don't end up like down a card. And it is still decent tempo there. And there are some big bomb non-creature spells late game. 4-mana counter non-creature spell. Really bad. That's a horrible rate. But when you just randomly tack it on to an already playable bounce spell, that could be relevant. Once or twice. Yeah, I'd probably try to play that too. If I can get room. I'm sad I didn't get a Jeskai Monument. A Jeskai Monument would be awesome here. Actually, with the amount of dragons we played, it's going to be rough to have a colorless land. But Being able to sack this to pull a dragon out of our deck when we're flooding is pretty nice. Pick up a Stormbrood, pick up a Regent, pick up a couple Durgar Island dragons. It's 4 different options. So we probably have a dragon left in our deck by the time we're cracking this on average. I'm going to play it. The mana fixing is hopefully good enough to justify a colorless land in this 3-color deck. Alright, 4 cuts. And I think they're probably supposed to be basically all non-creature spells, it looks like. But, I mean, we don't need a super high creature count if we're not aggressive. There's 14 creatures. 15 to 17 is your general aggro mid-rangey deck. So we're below that aggro threshold, but we're not aggressive anyway. Maybe a Kinguard. Bodyguard here. Actually, Bodyguard for sure is the first cut, because we're down to 2 cards it can pick up. Yeah, Bodyguard is definitely a cut, and then maybe a Kinguard, I guess. But let's cut the Bodyguard. 3 more cards to cut. Just focus on non-lands, that'll be safer. But they're all so good. Just go full control. Super Creature Light here. Ditch the Kinguard and the Masters. Because the Masters are like exclusively just threats. They don't really have any ETB value or anything. It's just like, here's a 6/5. Get 1 for 1 by removal. I mean, they kill your opponent real fast when they don't have removal, but there's no extra value to them for like grinding out a long game or anything towards our potentially controlling plan at all. Yeah, I'm gonna go full control, really creature light Jeskai here, and we'll see how it works out for us. So cut those, double check our mana base, 12 blue cards, 6 white for red, but I need the white much earlier because my creatures are actually white, so we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blue sources. That's pretty good. We have 5, 6, 7, 8 white sources. That's great. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red sources. Wow. All right. Well, this mana base is actually just great here. We will call it a deck there, hop into the gameplay, and see how it does. Here we are for game 1 with a pretty awkward opening hand. I only have 1 Stormplane Detainment for castable spells here, and then I'm going to want to hit double red to be able to Grappler plus copy a Molten Exhale. I guess we probably have to mulligan, but most of our non-land cards are good draws. Red sources are fantastic draws. We are on the draw here. So if they're really aggressive and I don't hit my second color, I just die real quick. It's a close one, but I'm going to take the mulligan. It's the same hand. All right. Mana-wise, it's the same hand, but no, we actually have a lot of castable spells. Get rid of the Durgar Island Dragon, I think. Yeah, we probably turn 3 Disciple, turn 4 try to double spell. And get the 1/1 flyer of value. Opulent Palace to start them off. There's our Frontier Bivouac as the draw, giving us a red source. Turn 2 Delta Bloodflies, 1/2 flyer. Interested enough in double spelling to skip my 2 mana 2/2. Either we get to get a flyer out of the Disciple, or we get to cast a Focus the Mind for cheaper. Rebuff plus Focus the Mind in the same turn is pretty nice. Kish the Skimmer. Okay. They bring anything out of their grave, that's going to be really bad for me, but also 2 mana flyer, well, turn 2 flyer, turn 3 flyer. Pretty scary. All evasive threats over there. Not putting our Wingblade Disciple at risk of any combat tricks against 4 open mana. I wish one of these were instant speed, so they can't just blow up my Disciple in response to the first one. I think rebuff is actually more important to resolve, so I'm going to cast it first to play around the counter unless you pay 2, so that if they don't have a dragon in their hand, they can't counter this. Okay, Snakeskin Veil, sure. That is pretty rough. Now it's an even bigger issue. They did have the counter unless I pay 2. Oh my god, they had both. That's really bad. So they're down to 2 cards in hand. It is possible the attack was for a Snakeskin Veil kill on Disciple. And I only have 1 spell in my hand, so I'm far from guaranteed to flurry again with Disciple. I think I'm under enough pressure I'm supposed to block Bloodflies here if they send it again. Hope that the Snakeskin Veil was the trick they wanted. And it's possible that they don't have the trick here and they only attack with the Skimmer, so I get to stop a point of damage by holding it up without even putting it at risk of dying, if that's the case. So I'm under a lot of pressure right now, but if they do like the same as last turn and just hold up some kind of instant speed removal, if I manage to rebuff the Skimmer, that's immediately much less pressure. Or if I take the trade here, I don't think I'm quite at that level of desperation. Okay. Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon actually puts in work here. It's considering I already have a dragon in my grave. Have to tap a creature here awkwardly. If we flood out here, we just play a Monastery and a Focus the Mind and pass, which would not be super enjoyable. If I draw one of my 3 mana or less plays, then I'll be very happy. Double spell with the Focus the Mind this turn. Triggered the Disciple. I'm going to make them have it here. They did not have it. You love to see it. And we drew a 3 mana or less spell. Really good turn for us. Do they have another counter unless we pay 2? They have something instant speed in their hand, or they're playing in full control mode because the leopard wouldn't be holding right there. Right now there are no artifacts or enchantments on the board. Still stop me from flurrying here. That's kind of rough, but I think I need the body on board. I'm gonna just pay for that. Voice of Victory to flurry off. Next turn, then. mean, card advantage-wise, that counterspell worked really well for us. But tempo-wise, did put some extra pressure on us. Alright, tap out for a draw spell. All fine and well. As long as they're not putting more threats on the board immediately. Go to 9. Next turn I have the double block for Skimmer. Little bit of flood, but we can crack the Maelstrom and get back a dragon soon now. That's an instant speed effect, too. Oh, I misread this. I was talking about how good that was going to be because we have a dragon in our grave. It grabs the dragons out of our deck, which means it's even better. Because we get to grab our bomb dragon instead. Yeah, empty board. I hold up the counterspell thing and then just grab our bomb dragon. Otherwise... Auto-tapper is so weird. Like, it never wanted to auto-tap this on other turns, but now that I'm actually going to crack it, when I tried to globe, it wanted to auto-tap this time. Now that I'm actually going to use it. Three flyer, when cards leave their grave, they get treasures, sure. Could Riverwalk technique that, but I'm just going to bounce it to their hand. With our bomb dragon. It's a shame Ugin doesn't count as a dragon. Because obviously we'd be all in on Ugin. I can actually flurry here by going full control mode. Oops. I was trying to... I forgot you don't have to OK going into full control mode, so I just needed to click full control and then click the globe and then click OK. Alright, misclick there, but we could have had a really spicy play where I could have flurried out and got another flyer as well by tapping the globe for a mana and then bouncing it to Regent. It's possible I didn't even need to go full control. No, I needed to go full control because I had no other instance that I could afford right now. So if I targeted that, it would just auto pass through and put the globe in my hand without the mana for it. So I didn't need to go full control mode if I tapped the globe for the Regent beforehand. So I should have done that. Misplay there, but kind of a misclick misplay where even waiting to tap the globe until the Regent's abilities on the stack would work, but of course we just didn't full control in time. I clicked the wrong button. Clicked OK. Regent versus Regent. Because they get to copy our Regent. That's pretty gross. You hate to see that. Five flyer ward plus a 1/1 flyer, or do I put their clone back? If I put their clone back, they could just copy our Regent again later, but I can wait to play the Regent till it's just like the kill, I suppose. Regent versus Regent is so awkward because the bounce, and theirs is only a 4 mana Regent, so they might even be able to double spell with it again soon. think I need to focus on building as strong of a board as I can without the Regent towards a big Regent bounce swing all later. Or maybe a multi-block trade into their Regent, kill it before we replay ours. Because again, bouncing it just means they're going to play it again and bounce our stuff again. For only 4 mana. This does have a graveyard ability, but the graveyard ability doesn't get enter the battlefield effects. And they only copy a creature they control. Aw, Lion Weight is disgusting. Incredible 2-for-1 removal spell. Removal spell plus pick up the best creature from your graveyard, so there goes the Disciple there. Yeah, Sultai just has so much great value stuff here. We are not having a good time. Narset's Rebuke. Close, but not enough to kill Regents. I can double spell, but it doesn't matter. I can Regent and Riverwalk Technique next turn and then Rebuke something. This is playing weaker to a counterspell to wait till their turn to do this. But I mean, I also have the 7-8 thanks to the globe. My Regent is better than theirs already. So they have to have removal already to even attack. I completely forgot about that. That they already can't even get in. Okay, I can kill 2 of these. Rebuke the one with the graveyard ability, Technique the one that's big enough to block this dragon, and force a chump with the skimmer next turn. Then they bounce these 2. Sorta back to square one. But if I top deck removal, because Rebuke gives me mana, we will have lethal. Pretty much guaranteed. So I'm gonna go for it. So yeah, next turn they just redraw the clone, tap out to recast it, and pay for my Dragon's Ward. Oh, but we drew the removal. Perfect. Thank you, Narset's Rebuke. Very cool. Kind of crazy back and forth game there. Pretty spicy stuff happening. But we are 1-0 heading into game 2. Alright, we pray our opponent did not pick Mardu and open up a bunch of 2-drops. If our opponent is not aggressive, if we make it to the late game, we've got the big bomb. We have all 3 colors in the opening hand, so anything we draw is castable, and we have 1 piece of early removal. So it's a keep, but it is a riskier keep than it looks like, because if we don't draw any early game plays, I have 1 exhale, and then I sit on my butt till turn 5, which is really slow. And our opponent is Boros, very aggressive couple colors there. Fresh Start and Exhale both basically kill anything against Boros. Fresh Start has Flash though, so I'm just going to Exhale with the sorcery right now. I think I take the 2 and I fresh start their 4-drop instead of their 2-drop. I can take 2 a turn until I get to Ugin. Sure. Yeah, that's 4 damage of swings, so still good enough to fresh start here. Solid draw. Focus the Mind is basically guaranteed to draw me something castable for turn 6, so I think I need the 2-2 here. Alright, I just play this and then I focus the Mind next turn, then I play whatever I drew off of focus the turn after that. And this way I'm only taking 1 damage a turn on board. And I've got a chump blocker for whatever big threat they play this turn. Like, I don't think we were going to get to a position where we could afford to play the 3/4 Flying Dragon. Unless I tried to play that on turn 6, but at that point, I'm just playing whatever I play with the Focus the Mind. Or whatever I draw with the Focus the Mind. Got all the Ugin mana I need, but I'm taking 5 a turn now because of this flyer. Which is not good. Down to 12. Why did I open my mouth and end up playing against the most aggressive archetype? Grappler double Whisper here, I guess, is the play. Plus gain 1 off Swiftwater Cliffs. Grappler, draw 2. Or play 1 Ward Dragon. If I play the Ward Dragon, I can try to block Stormbrood, but if they have 1 removal spell, that crumbles. Versus gaining 1 and drawing 2 and stopping the 3 damage thing if they don't have removal. Plus, this way I get the tap land out of the way, in case I don't draw another on-tap land for Ugin next turn. Although I don't even know if I can play Ugin next turn. If I draw decent, cheap removal, I'm going to have to do that instead. And this is sorcery speed. So I can't, like, double tap 2 of their creatures with this dragon either. Draw Rebuke. Draw Mystic Monastery. That's awkward. Kind of wish I kept the untapped land now. Because going island and then tapping one of their attackers drawing a card feels decent. I guess I can save that as an option for next turn, right? Next turn I can go like Rebuke the Stormbrood, take the 2, tap another thing with the mana that Rebuke gives me. And then I also have the Ugin up as an option too. Okay, we're about to get combat tricked, but it is what it is. Better than taking damage. Okay, it's just like a full-on removal spell, sure. Down to 7. Ugin is 9 loyalty. They have 3, 4, 5 power. Oh, we just Ugin. If Ugin is 9 loyalty. Yeah. It's actually just Ugin here. Oh, Sage of the Skies is huge. They have 5 damage on board. If they have 3 damage worth of combat tricks, they can kill us. Draw 2, lose 2, and we take damage off of the next creatures they play next turn. That's really good here. Land is not. We're happy to see that at least. Send at Ugin. Let's go. Massive work from Ugin if they send all this his way. Even if he dies right now, stopping all this damage was more than enough with all these cards in hand. More than enough for him to have played really powerfully. Yeah, so worth it. So worth it. I'm cool with Ugin dying there. They're down to 1 card in hand now, and we have 1 million. We're going to have 2 lifelinkers here. I can go Rebuke plus Sage and still have the tap up if I'm really scared. Yeah, I mean, I can tap one of their creatures and still have a second dragon up. Yeah, this game was close, even if we do end up owning it, because we were essentially down to 3, right? They could have just hit us with everything. Oh, reverse Ugin. All right, that's a big way for them to come back for sure. Because I do not have a way to kill that immediately. After all that, I'm gonna get out Ugin. Tragic. Okay, this is literally just choosing to let me gain life here, I think. Oh no, because the Thunder of Unity, it balances out. I gain 2 and take 2. Do I need to draw a card here to try to find something to kill Ugin? I kind of think I do. That's not it. That's also not it. What do I have in my deck to kill an Ugin? Narset's Rebuke doesn't shoot Planeswalkers? Great. Stormbrew doesn't shoot Planeswalkers. Meringue River Regent lets them recast it. I have a Stormplane Detainment for 3 mana. That's my option. So I need 3 mana up after the card draw, and I will have 3 mana up after Focus the Mind. Could also just play a big dragon. Attack Ugin for 6 next turn, but it's a +2, so it's 11. -2, it's going to be at 9. I attack for 6 total, that's still not there. Yikes. We pray. Nope. Nope. All right. No exile in the top 5, sadly.
An undisciplined strike. Insight is vital to success.
This is the most comically depressing way to lose this game if we do lose. That's pretty bad for me. You have to rebuke the heck out of that. Go to 5. Can rebuke and Stormbrood and have the tap untapped here. 7 life, a hard enough life total to play Dawnbreaker instead of Stormbrood for now, so that Appraiser can attack Ugin as well. I'm gonna hope it is with a tapper. Yeah, they don't have the burn anymore every time they play a creature. So I'm gonna be at 7 and I have the trick to take 0 on the crackback next turn. Okay, I'm gonna be at 5 and have the trick to take 0 on the crackback. I think I do it. Still trying to cycle into the Oblivion Ring spell. When's the last card in hand's graveyard recursion? Turn 2 creatures from grave to hand? Ew. Alright. This is a boatload of late game value for Mardu aggro. I mean, the majority of it has been Ugin. Ugin is just already a boatload of late game value, but Graveyard Recursion too. This doesn't seem horrible. I mean, cards have gotten really, really strong in Draft and Sealed lately, so my opinion is probably skewed. Because I remember in Dominaria, there was a card called Soul Salvage that was literally 2 and a black for a sorcery that just brought 2 creatures from your grave to hand. It was a sorcery that only did that. There was no flexibility, and that card was already pretty good. This is infinitely better than that, but so are most cards in this format compared to cards from Dominaria, so. Get my Bomb Dragon. But I am under insane amounts of pressure. And I could definitely make sure Ugin doesn't ult me at least, but I don't even think the ult works in Sealed. Yeah, they cast all their colorless cards for free. It's probably still enough to win, even if they just have like a couple globes. Because then they just exile my board. Off of Ugin's static ability. Okay, I can play Stormbrood and Voice of Victory. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. Grab my Bomb Dragon and have exactly enough mana to play it. Bounce the 2 scariest attackers. But just be at 5. Bearer of Glory is 5 mana, right? Yeah, 5 mana for plus and plus 1 to the board. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can only do it 1 time next turn. I think I have to grab the Bomb Dragon. And pray a bit here. Because then we can definitely delete Ugin next turn. I guess not definitely. Two blockers up. I take that damage, but I stop that, and I stop the token. I take 2, go to 3. Yeah. I'm sending... If they don't find removal for a big dragon, 10 damage Ugin's way next turn. Doing this. And Ugin's at 8 loyalty now.
Insight is vital to success.
It's dragons versus all the little warriors. Classic looking stuff here. Hopefully the giant sturdy dragons can stabilize us and flip the game around, even against an Ugin that's been active for like 5 or 6 turns now. That's what the fingers are crossed for. Reigning Victor. Buff the Brigade. Reigning Victor. Buff the Bearer. Swing both. Sure. Go to 3 here. Oh, Arceus Exhale. I couldn't not block. Oh, man. Oh, it's so tilting. I still have my exile spell in here somewhere, hiding. $11 mana. 6 for this and 6 for this. I can't even afford to draw a card and then play Stormbrood if I don't hit the exile. I'm dead. Am I not? I mean, game 5, I'm at 8. 4 blockers up against all this, but then the bearer goes insane. Could deal 5 to the bearer. But then these are all getting in. Because I don't have this big Stormbrood anymore. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If they draw a land, they can double buff too. It's so frustrating because like I know I have outs, I just can't draw them. It's only 1 out though. Because the Rebuke, they didn't let Rebuke hit Planeswalkers for some reason. They hit the land. GG. These things are 5/5s. Yeah, there's no... All I can do is chump a bunch and still go to like 1 and have no board left. Alright. It's frustrating. I mean, what can you do? We said at the very start of the game, our opening hand was really good against anything except a really aggressive deck, and then they were the most aggressive clan. And like even then it's like, okay, we got to the point where we can maybe stabilize. We got reverse Ugin for them to also grind out the long game. Just incredible. Powerful stuff from our opponent, going to take it away. That is 1-1 heading into game 3. All right, here we are on the play for game 3. Solid hand here. We want to find something to double spell with the Sage, ideally. Our opponent is on Sultai. They pick up a Forest. Do not want to rebuff a Wayfarer and let them pick up another land. So really hoping for mana there. That's a little awkward. Okay, we hit our land for turn. Not really under any pressure right now. This is my only big threat. Let's just hold it. So I'm taking 1 damage here, that's fine. Awkward. Guess if I rebuff, or not rebuff, but Skimming Strike, and then if I draw the land here, I can double the Sage. If they have Snakeskin Veil, it plays really well against Omens. They counter the whole thing and the dragon itself dies instead of going back in my deck. Not a land. Alright. think I still have to hold on to this. But now it's to flurry with Disciple as well. Rather than trying to play the 5-drop. At this point, it looks like we're just not going to get enough mana to the point where I want to play a single 5-drop instead of double spelling my cheaper cards. Okay. Classic green sealed deck here. They are splashing around for at least 4 colors of cards. Saved Jeskai for last, because I think it's probably the weakest of all the sealed decks. I feel like I'm at a distinct advantage in sealed any time that I'm not playing green in this format, because of the amount of fixing that you have. You get to just splash in all the bombs with relative ease in most sealed pools. But if you choose Jeskai as your clan, or Mardu as your clan, you just are not going to open up nearly as much fixing and get to play all of your rares. And I think that's the strongest thing you can be doing in this format from what I've seen. In sealed, of course, not draft. Sealed and draft have played pretty differently. Rebuke plus double Sage seems decent, or Disciple plus Rebuff is also not bad. And then go for the double Sage later when I actually get another token at that point too. I guess there's nothing I really want to rebuff yet, so I'll just make the 2/2 this turn. And then I'll go Sage rebuff next turn. Or if I draw land, Sage Focus the Mind. Or Rebuke Sage. There's a ton of options next turn. We can take a little bit of damage here early. Go to 16. A million mana up. Double blue. Oh, I lied. I can't Sage Focus the Mind. Because Sage has to be the second spell. I think I have to rebuff here, which is awkward. Because if I try to Rebuke and they counter it, then I don't even get to try to cast a second spell and get a bird in the first place, let alone resolve anything. And I think Rebuff into Sage also plays the best against a counter spell because I don't really care if they counter Rebuff, and if they counter Sage, the clone doesn't get copied, or the clone doesn't get countered. They only get to counter half of it. And I get to Flurry, which is great. Yeah, this is super fine. It was the counter spell, but that is a-okay. They just kill one of the 2 Sages. Boop. And we're flying in now. Fangkeeper's Familiar is an excellent Sultai rare, though, generally. 4 mana flash, 3/3. Counter spell, destroy an enchantment, gain 3 or surveil 3. So 4 mana 3/3 flash, counter a creature spell, already pretty phenomenal. But if you're playing against a white deck and they have that enchantment removal that exiles one of your cards, it's also pretty busted. Speaking of busted, Karakik Guardian is the perfect blocker because we can't target it with any removal until it's already killed one of our cards. But if it just kills a bird and then we removal spell it, that's fine. So we send the birds still. And if the birds get in, the birds get in. That's also fine. Cool. Would like to focus the mind, and I'd rather be able to double spell when I do it for our Wingblade Disciple. So I do not want to spend Rebuke here, but I really don't want to Riverwalk Technique. I can't Riverwalk Technique. I don't have the mana. Since I really don't want to Riverwalk Technique the Guardian. I have to Rebuke to double spell right now. I think it's worth it. Draw 3 towards the land, get another flyer. And I'm going to do it right now during their turn to play around counters. They've got triple blue here. Yeah, if we want to deal with Guardian, we'll deal with it with Riverwalk Technique. temporarily should be good enough with the amount of flyers we're going to have here. Actually, we can just deal with it with Ugin, actually, at that point. Speaking of having an Ugin, that makes me want to keep the globe. Am I about to discard a land? That can't be right. I mean, the globe to go with Ugin is sick. But the grappler is awesome. Grappler into Riverwalk technique off this land. I need the land for those plays. If I don't draw another land, I can go Grappler Globe. Which is not insane, but I still get a bird. And set up an Ugin the next turn. If I do get a land, Magical Christmas Land. And we have a million incredible options. Welcome my face. Goodbye, Lifelinker. No, goodbye, Disciple, sure. Ugin's a triggered ability too, so they can't even counter me countering their, or exiling their Guardian when I play the Ugin later. Okay. The greed catches up. We can go Grappler plus Globe. Tap the Guardian next turn off of the Dragon, and then play Ugin the turn after this. Okay. Fresh start's a nice draw. Some mammoths coming in here, but I've got bounce spells for those. Sure. 7. 2 mana up. So I only have the mana for a fresh start after this. I still gotta just do it. Oh, actually, I should get the triple colorless and play a bounce spell instead, but fresh start's gonna be just as good as playing a bounce right now.
Insight is vital to success.
I'm gonna be at 12 here with 2 blockers up. Shut off 1 5/5, block another 5/5, block a 3/3, take 2. I think I'm racing at 12. Plus, a lot of this damage could get soaked up by Ugin instead. Should have checked what creatures are in their grave just to be safe. Looks like a big life gain dragon. 4/5 flyer, gain a couple life for playing it. We choose the 4/4 ward 2. Maybe they just want to tap Grappler, draw a card. They have some gigantic trample trick. We could just die right now. Okay, tap, draw a card. They're going for it. They have removal and Snakeskin Veil that could also get us. But they need a combination of multiple spells here. That's super bad. Unblockable 6/6 right now. Just multiple massive tricks. Oh, they did have a giant trample trick. The whole board gets vigilance trample? Yikes. That's exact lethal? Wow. Alright. I mean, even with some birds up, we lose the whole board and go to like 1 or 2 here. Good lord. Stop the maximum amount of damage would be... Stop 5 there. Stop 2 there, take exact lethal. Oh yeah, losing its abilities makes it deal 0 there. So yeah, it's exact lethal. Ridiculous. Alright, 1 and 2, heading into game 4. Here we are for game number 4. All of our colors here. We got a Disciple on 3. Rebuke plus Skimming Strike, I guess, is a flurry play, but we do want to hit some more other spells of some kind. So our opponent's on the play starts with Nomad Outpost for some more Mardu stuff. Bearer of Glory to start it off. So they're on the play, curving out with a 2-drop, and we don't have play of our own till turn 3, which is awkward. Natural Mardu here. I probably need to stop some damage, draw a card. Slow this game down a little bit. The River Regent is the draw. Get another 2/2 over there. There's Disciple. And we gotta take the 4 on board, go to 16 now. We've got the removal in the hand, so we take 4, and Disciple is not going to be flurrying next turn. Now fully on the survive till 6 mana plan. Okay. Yeah, getting rid of that premium removal seems fine. I'm gonna hold that. Because I think I'm gonna want to just hard cast it and just go for big flyers. Go above their board. Discard a card, draw 2. Land for turn. Furious Forebear. It's a 3/1 that can keep coming back from the grave. Don't mind exiling that. Alright, now we're just going to cast a big dragon every turn until hopefully we win. But they're on Mardu, they can have tons of removal that can kill big dragons out of black and white. Destroy target creature, exile target creature, all that kind of stuff. Meticulous Artisan Pass, let's go. We're jamming. Keep that pressure on, biggest dragon we can. Twin Maw Stormbrood. Go back up to 16 now. This is the deck plan, the deck idea. Survive the early game and then play giant dragons and card advantage. That's the hope. Okay, that's some kind of big mythic. That's a double combat, right? Yes, they attack twice here. So I have to trade or go to 6. Go to 6. Great draw. Put them to 2. I'm at 6 life with a blocker up. All giant dragons on board that are lethal damage to our opponent. They need a very good turn to finish us off here. Each opponent loses 2. That's a good start. They need 4 more direct to face damage to finish the game, though. Discard a card, draw 2. That is going to be it. I don't believe that there's anything that triggers when they discard a card or anything that costs 1 to deal 4. Alright, the Dargans get there, and we are 2-2 heading into game 5. If we can win one more game here, we at least get a nice average record from the Jeskai sealed pool. Alright, here we are for game number 5. Opponent's on a mulligan here, and I'm going to hope that their 6-card hand doesn't manage to be super aggressive, because the hand's a bit slow. We're going to slow down some damage with the dragon, and then detain their first really scary card. But we've got all the colors of mana we need for anything we top deck, so we're really hoping to draw some creatures. And luckily our opponent is starting pretty slow, the Teamer Monument there. Excellent fixing. They got a green over blue or red when they have green and black already on board, so they need triple green? If I knew the set better, I would probably know what's up with that, but I have no idea what's happening here. Maybe they have the rare that harmonizes, it flashes back for 4 green mana. Alright, they're really just setting up their mana. And as I said before, I'm already just really concerned whenever I play against one of these green-based decks, because they have access to every rare in their sealed pool with all that fixing. So I do feel like I've come to this fight with a pea shooter, and our opponent has their weapon hidden behind their back, and I feel like it's a rocket launcher. But we'll see. We'll see. Just whenever I see green, I just expect explosions and bombs everywhere, because they can play everything in the sealed pool. Off Monument, Globe, any green fixing. Okay, Grappler's a sick draw for later. For right now, it doesn't do much. Yeah, 6 mana double detainment is pretty nice. for now we just chill, hang out with our opponent. Actually, cycling this towards another land seems decent. Stop 3 damage here, I guess. Sure. Kill the Voice of Victory. Draw the Storm Brood and draw land 6. So I need the second white towards the Grappler. I can Rebuke and Focus the Mind. If they have the Snakeskin Veil, they already have the mana up for it. So I'll try to do it during their turn at least. Because then I could kill something bigger. Like an Armament Dragon. Put all 3 counters on the Sage. Okay, so I guess I can Rebuke, Focus the Mind now, and then I can Grappler, Detain the Dragon and the Monument next turn. Seems decent. Or I can hold off and wait for them to play another good creature. Because now I can Riverwalk Technique the Mammoth. Just take 4 damage for now, play my big dragon here, probably. Yeah. And then I still have Grappler Detainment as a future play coming up. That seems solid. I'm at 25 life, I can definitely take a hit here. Oh, yes. Line them up. Line them up so we can knock them down. Let's go to 19. And then let's Grappler Detainment. Grappler Sage doesn't work how I want it to. Because I copy the spell. I don't cast the copy, I just copy the spell on the stack. So I'd get 3 Sages, not 4. As far as I know. I think even if I would, I should detain these dragons, because the Sages aren't going anywhere through these gigantic cards regardless. Get the Mammoth. Kraken Evolving Wilds. Subzig Appraiser's a decent draw. So I have a good double spell with the Sage here. Let the Mammoth chill for a second though, since I can't double spell Technique with Sage, since I didn't hit the untapped land. Opponent's flooding out. Lethal on board if I deal with the Mammoth. Alright. 3 and 2. We started off 1 and 2. Now we're at least at an average record here. Hopefully we can get a couple more wins, get a little more gems back out of the event, but we'll see how things go from here as we head into round number 6. Okay, this is the most finger-crossy hand of all time. I have a really good 3-drop to help get another land if I can draw just 1 mana. This helps get to the next one, and then I've got the 4 mana to the draw 3 discard one to get to the next land. I'm finger crossing. We balanced the record out at this point. I'm gonna just hope for the best now. And there you go. That's the land for Appraiser. On the draw against Mardu for the 3rd time today. Actually, the second Mardu matchup we might have been on the play. I could be wrong, but this is definitely our 3rd time playing Mardu aggro. Turn 3 Bomb Rare Zergo where they keep all their mobilized tokens. I can detain Zergo, but this warrior's already around forever. That was the best draw on the whole deck. That gives me a chance now. What a start, though. Shock Brigade into Zergo on the play. That was probably the only draw on the whole deck where we were still in this game. Because, I mean, Zergo was going to have 2 1/1s forever after that. Jesus Christ, what are you doing with the draft deck and the sealed pods? Stop! I beg you. Appraiser into Grappler Exhale. Once we have 5 mana. So I can exile 2 of their cards. Wait, the Exhale does not exile, strangely enough. I've got double red, I have triple blue. Yeah, we get a white. Pretty happy that I have like all my rares in hand, because otherwise there would be absolutely no chance. They even have the Storm Singer now draining me for life every time I kill something. Good grief. Down to 12 already, but I'm gonna have a first striking blocker, kill the Storm Singer, kill the... What else do I want to kill here? I mean, definitely Storm Singer. Probably Storm Singer, Shock Brigade, even though the Grappler could end up just trading for the Bearer. It's the only way we don't take damage next turn if they don't have removal. I guess I wanted to do that in the other order. Took an extra point of damage. They've got removal. We go to 6. Oh god, it's even worse. They just get Zergo back? If they have 1 mana removal, I'm going to lose my mind. Oh! What fresh heck is this? I'm in a nightmare right now. I want to wake up. It would be better if I just died on like turn 3 or 4. That would not feel as bad. Oh my god, I go to 3 or I chump. Three life and a dream, baby. Let's get stable, everybody. Let's get stable. Come on, big dragons. Big dragon dream team. Flip this bad boy right around. Uh-oh. Oh, it's big enough to attack through the Storm Brood. Hexproof from monocolored. Not hexproof from colorless.
Equilibrium.
We win those? I wasn't worried for a single second. I don't know what you're talking about. That was easy. Easy game. We are 4-2 heading into game number 7. Mono blue hand. I guess I keep, right? Slow them down, draw another card. We've got a solid early flyer. Great card draw when we get to the mana for it. This can splash in our off-colored dragons, so could be relevant. Red, green, and white. Naya! Go back to Alara, opponent. You're in the wrong plane. Okay, they're just 5-color green goodness. I'm scared. Need lands pretty bad. I'm just cycling this immediately. Ooh, next turn. Undeading Whisper is just so nice to have a great 1-mana cycling spell to just go 1-drop flurry. It's so nice. It's my only red source in my hand, which is awkward. Because I'm tempted to just get rid of the tap land, but... Alright, we're letting Botanist get its value here. I'm not going to try to double block against like 5 open mana next turn. Okay, they just have Exile for Disciple. Fair. Alright, Botanist got no value off the trigger anyway, which is nice. Get this red source out. If I want to focus the mind again, I have to play the untapped mana. Actually, to Sage of the Skies as well. Sage of the Skies is probably the best play. Let's kill the Botanist and Sage of the Skies. I think that's fine. Over just draw a card and Sage of the Skies. Exhale my bird, you got it. That is super fine with me. No, they don't have the green exhale for our sages. Drawing all the bombs again. This game's looking pretty good. Gain a bajillion life. Iridescent Tiger. They get the mana of every color to be able to cast another spell now. So probably a black spell stuck in their hand. No, it's gonna be Pack Beast, sure. Pretty good. That's Ugin mana right there. That's pretty sick. I guess I'd rather Ugin than bounce these, because both of these have relevant enter effects. So let's just get Ugin down. Welcome back, Eugene. Oh, we drew the globe. Drew the globe too. Gross. Gross. Another Pack Beast. Put Ugin to 6. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't resist. I'm just going globe and just being evil. Yeah, they're over it after the first globe. Fair enough, I would be too. That is 5 and 2. This is turned into a very positive win rate here after a 1-2 start, which feels awesome. I'm not going to say that I've been playing super well or built the greatest deck in the universe. It is a lot about the power of your rares, building the best deck that you can to cast those rares as often as possible, but the rares have been great, and we've been drawing them a lot. So we've got 5 wins now. 5 and 2, heading into game number 8. Alright, here we are on the play for game number 8. Bloodfell Caves starting our opponent off. Play another tap land here so we can play Appraiser as our first play over Dawnbreaker. The Dawnbreaker Omen, of course. Alright, Mardu it is again. Not an aggressive start for Mardu this time, which is great. We're on the play, and they just played Fixing on turn 3, or on turn 2. Appraise ourselves some lands here. Check out our property values. I have blue, red, white, blue, red. Yeah, I've got all the colors. I think I can ditch here in order to have an untapped land and be able to potentially double spell. Because I can go Voice of Victory plus the Omen of Dawnbreaker because the Maelstrom can give me the second white for dragon spells and dragon omens. Well, that's an incredible top end if we make it there. Well, the way this game is going, we play the aggro here. I should have played Voice of Victory pre-combat. Force them to cast something before it resolves if they have some kind of flash creature. But I guess if they have a Caustic Exhale, it's also just better for me if they use it on Sibsig Appraiser than Voice of Victory in the first place. Alright, if they have something they want to cast, they gotta cast it right now. Now they can't cast anything this turn. It does feel like with the long wait there, they do have a removal spell, so they'll kill Voice of Victory now during their turn. It does force them to use that removal at sorcery speed, which is nice. Probably cycling this dragon now that I have my super bomb at 7. They did have a Caustic Exhale, so they kill Voice of Victory and play Mardu Devotee on blocks. I don't mind the trade that much, but since I... Oh, never mind. I was going to say, since I want to get damage in here anyway, or not get damage in, since I want to draw a card anyway, I'm going to tap one of these, draw a card. But now that they have 2 of them, I do genuinely want to tap one to stop them from doing a double block on our 2/2, trading a 1/2 up. Like, I guess if they did that, I would have a dragon in my hand if I didn't do the Omen here, so I could instant speed Exhale and then kill both, but I don't want to spend an Exhale just getting rid of 1/2s, honestly. They've already got pretty much perfect mana without them. I think the 1/2 bodies are so good here. Also don't really want to spend a rebuff. So we're kind of just chilling. Waiting for them to play something scary. The Mardu Monument is awkward for us because it's one that spits out a bunch of tokens, right? Yeah, a bunch of 1/1s. Our hand's much better against like one really big creature, like a Teamer deck that plays a big 6/6, and I just put it back in their hand. Okay, Pack Beast is good enough. Exhale works pretty well against that. There's the globe towards the Ugin. A little sad I have to play it pre-Ugin, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I definitely need the mana. Exhale our 2/2. Sinkhole Surveyor. Top deck basic, top deck basic, top deck basic. Surveyor plus Brigade. One card left in their hand. We did not top deck a basic. Alright, so it's Rebuke the Surveyor instead. Focus the mind into the land. And then I could also Rebuke this turn. Oh, shoot. I think I have to discard Rebuff and just take the 3. Plus I can crack a Monument. That's actually getting to sketchy amounts of damage if I don't do a Rebuff here, because the Monument crack as well. This is awkward. Do you really want to bounce this turn? I'm ditching Rebuff. Maybe it's still ditch the land? Because I just have Grappler Sage still. Turn after this. Yeah, it was probably ditch the land. But if I ditch the land, I don't get to rebuff that turn anyway. Still have to wait a turn. Oh my god. Elspeth before the Mardu Monument? Kill any of my big creatures, give their whole board +1/+1 flying. Spit out 2 soldiers every turn. Doubles the mobilize. God dang it. Well, she can't kill... Okay, mana value 3 or greater. Shoot, okay, she can kill any of these. Single Ugin is just going to get deleted here. But a +1/+1 counter and flying on their whole board, I cannot survive that. You can go and Grappler Sage right now. So I guess goodbye, Ugin.
Preparation. You, Sai, will not allow. Insight is vital to success.
Yeah, if Elspeth was still on their board, even if I had, you know, the 3 Sages and a Grappler, they could get, what, 6 Warriors? Or is it just 1 more with Elspeth? No, it's twice that many. They would have had 6 Menace Haste Warriors and then give them all a +1/+1 counter and flying. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus 12, 6 2/2s. Good lord. Alright, they're going full aggro. They're going straight to face here. Is the mana going to matter here? Blue, red, white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could play 2 Stormbroods, actually. I kind of like that. With the globe out, they're both 5 toughness if I get the mana. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do have to get the mana to play that. I could Grappler double Charring Bite. And play Sage. And still gain the life here. That's probably a little better. Okay, that means I do draw the card instead.
My plan bears
I feel pretty stable now. Zergo is quite good, but I've got the cluttered up board state to kind of stop all that. Oh my god. Just draw the best draw in the deck, as you do. Just kill the tokens. I mean, I could do all kinds of insane fancy plays as well, where I could have bounced my grappler, I could rebuff the grappler.
The wise heed my advice.
Oh, I don't know the mana for both of these. Put them to 2. Alright. Huge stabilization and flipping things around with Ugin there and other rares to defend him. As the deck generally does with all these great rares. We are 6-2 now. We made it from a 1-2 run with a couple losses really early all the way to the final battle here. So feels pretty great whatever happens from here. We are up in value. We got all of our gems back and a few packs. But we'll see if we can't take down the trophy run here for this final sealed run of Tarkir Dragonstorm. All right, here we are on the play for the final battle with a wonderful hand mana-wise. Playing against Obzon here. Dragon Sniper starts things off. Pretty fine to just trade that off in anything we have early. Sure. Here's a Sibsig Appraiser. Globe looks better than Rebuke for this hand. Get towards hard casting a 5/5 flying board too. Because I'm not playing Grappler without doubling something with it, so I'm not playing Grappler next turn. So we want to wait till we have a bunch of mana to Grappler up a big high mana value spell like a 4-drop like Riverwalk Technique, so Globe helps get to that too. Rally the Monastery, a couple 1/1s yet. Holds the Appraiser off for sure. Can double detainment. I am not double detaining 1/1s, so here's my 5/5 flyer. Exhale, kill my 2/1. Worthy cost, sack a 1/1, kill the dragon as well. So they're down to 3 cards in hand. We're down to 3 cards in hand. Pretty balanced game here. But they do have a prowess token that they're up a card with. Kind of chilling, waiting for them to play really scary threats. Armament Dragon's scary enough. Can double detainments. We put all of the counters onto the dragon. Then I think I can just Riverwalk technique for a turn here and still wait on double detainment. Just some flood. Play the dragon. They've got one card left in their hand. So the board state's going to be a 3/3 first strike versus nothing on board, but they're up a card in hand. I could double exhale and kill only the dragon, but then if I do that, it doesn't matter if they have enchantment removal. So I could see an argument for going for double Molten Exhale instead, just letting them keep the prowess token. But I'm getting greedy. I'm going for double detainment, get rid of the token as well. Solid draw. They do anything tricksy here, I've got the fresh start. Skirmish Rider's pretty good. I can't stop the enter effect because it's already triggered, even if I shut off its abilities after that. Oh, let's go. This card's so gross against green removal. Disciple double spell. Feels decent. I know it's worth exiling the 0/4 just so the grappler can hit them. Ah, detain the disciple immediately. Tragic. Oh, detain my detainment, right. Yeah, that's not good. A little flood. I got a couple chump blocks here. So we have Ugin, the big bomb rare dragon that we're really looking for here. Oh no. They're drawing a little more gas than us. Revival of the Ancestors is another great bomb. Make a super wide board, buff them all, and then trample lifelink everybody. Super nasty. Land, 2 mana creature. Alright. Not the spells we're looking for. Still not out of it yet. We have a couple cards that immediately flip the game back in our favor. A few cards. We have Ugin, we have the rare dragon, and we have the land that tutors out the rare dragon. Still got a little more card draw in here, like another Focus the Mind to dig towards them. Although if I draw another Focus the Mind, I won't have the mana to cast them in the same turn. Which is gonna be very painful. It's gonna be a huge Armament Dragon trample swing. I still have my tap draw card dragon in the deck. That would also be a good draw just to shut off the Armament Dragon on the turn they get trample lifelink. Or our bounce spell is another draw. We've got a lot of good draws here, actually. Because the tap and the bounce work really well also. So the tap, the bounce, the dragon tutor, the dragon itself, the Ugin. The Focus the Mind actually becomes a decent draw because a couple of our good draws are the cheap cards, the tap and the bounce. Not horrific odds here. Kind of like a coin flip. I think we have like 9 decent draws. So basically a coin flip here. Between if I take 1 million next turn or take 0. And And obviously if I take 0 next turn, we can stabilize pretty well from there. Alright, we take 1,000,000 this turn. Lost that coin flip. Well, they drew some kind of combat trick here. I still think it's not worth putting the other two at risk, and even through a combat trick, we stop some damage here. Oh, indestructible? Yes, it's just been useless to block with everybody else anyway. Final turn to hit one of our outs. Man. Alright. I don't even know if this would have been winnable if I did double Exhale the Dragon instead of double Detainment. Because they still would have gotten the late, like, revival and stuff, and they just spread the counters around and have a good board. But it would have been better. Such a bummer. I think we really just drew worse in the top deck war for the most part. This would have been enough earlier on that 9 damage swing, but it is not enough now. Even an Ugin is not enough off the top at this point. Because I have to cycle this right now to draw Ugin. I play Ugin, I gain 3, I'm at 5, I take 7. There's one draw in the deck that works. If I hit the rare dragon, then this is still enough. Did not hit the rare dragon. This is exactly not enough. Oh my god, Arena, you're so rude. I take exact lethal this way. I trump their dragon and take 7. Go to exactly 0. Alright. Final battle is a loss, but I think it was a reasonable matchup. I think with just a little better draws, we could have won it. Or maybe going for the double Caustic Exhale, or not Caustic Exhale, Molten Exhale over double Detainment. Maybe we had a shot there. So really a deck that was super capable of a 7-win run in the end. I think a lot of that was just the power of your rares and mythics here. Sealed in this format and in most sealed formats is very much about finding your strongest rares and building the deck that is the best at utilizing them and at casting them consistently. And I think this more controlling, slower, rampier Jeskai deck is the best way for us in this sealed pool to utilize our Regent, our Ugin, even our Grappler is a really late game rare because we want to wait till we have at least like 6 mana to double Detainment or something like that. So really was a sealed pool that incentivized us ramping up, hitting big late game plays, playing the draw spells towards those big bombs. I'm pretty happy with how I ended up building this deck. I think it's about as good as we could have got it in the deck build. Certainly could have been some different decisions during gameplay that may have won us 1 or 2 of those games. Might have been able to get the 7-winner here. But a 6-win run is still great, especially after starting off 1 and 2 here. Getting the full 5-win-in-a-row win streak is pretty awesome. So, sealed format as a whole, how do I feel? For the clan sealed format, where you get to have 2 booster packs of your specific clan, I still do think that there is a color imbalance in sealed in terms of which clan you should pick. Despite winning a lot of games with this deck, I think it's because we opened a super, super powerful, super, super bomby sealed pool with a bunch of on-color rares and stuff. I still think that generally the green decks have a pretty distinct advantage for the amount of mana fixing you can pick up in green with the Saga Wildlings and the Harmonious Emergence and stuff like that. That fixes mana there to be able to play all of your rares, even if your rares are like super disparate and among other colors. So I think Temur, Sultai, and Abzan were still definitely my favorite sealed decks, and I think they're the ones we did the best with. Outside of this Jeskai deck, I mean, 6 and 3 is close to those decks we got our 7-win runs with. So again, I still think the green decks are better. in sealed when you get to pick your clans, but when it comes to the sealed format in general, when we're going to be playing in competitive events and we won't have any seeded booster packs, it's just going to be 6 packs of Tarkir Dragonstorm. I think it's pretty rare dependent, right? Like if we opened up 6 packs and we just randomly opened up more good blue, red, and white rares, more Jeskai rares. Like if we open up these rares in just a regular sealed event, I'm probably just playing these colors. I'm probably not doing the green splashy stuff. So I think the color balance in a regular sealed format is really dependent on the sealed pool, which is nice. But as for this whole clan sealed experiment, there is definitely a tier ranking of all the different clans for sure. And I think Mardu and Jeskai are at the lower end. I like Mardu a little more than the Jeskai because I think that if you get lucky with the Mardu sealed pools and get a good curve, some of those aggressive rares and stuff can punish the slower green splashy decks that are such a huge part of the sealed format. But it's been really fun. Absolutely loved this set in sealed, and I'm loving it so far in draft. It's been an awesome one. So I'm very, very excited for competitive Tarkir Dragonstorm season coming up. They still haven't announced the dates for any arena opens and qualifier planes and all that, but you can rest assured I will be very interested in hopping into those events and trying this format on a competitive level there, especially arena directs, and get some physical booster boxes of the set to draft with friends and family. That would be very, very cool. So any arena directs that they do where you can win play booster boxes, I will definitely be playing those. Collector booster boxes, just sell them. But if I can win some play boosters, that'd be awesome. I'm rambling now. Just wanted to say this format's been really cool, and I'm loving it. But we can just play more of the format tomorrow, can't we? That is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and are interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.